Welcome to my channel. My name is Alex. We tell a variety of true stories from Reddit that are shocking and take the chills out of it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and enjoy watching. Oliver Mitchell was a man of unwavering integrity and relentless dedication. His days were consumed by the intricate world of law, where he tirelessly advocated for justice. But beyond his professional pursuits, Oliver's heart belonged to Lily Anderson, the woman who had captured his soul with her radiant smile and infectious laughter. Lily, with her unwavering strength and resilience, was the epitome of grace in the face of adversity. Her spirit shone brightly, guiding Oliver through the trials of life. Together, they had built a love that seemed unbreakable, a bond forged in trust and shared dreams. However, beneath Lily's joyful facade, a storm was silently brewing. It was on a cold and rainy evening when Lily's world was shattered by the devastating news of her stage 4 cancer diagnosis. The weight of the prognosis threatened to crush her spirit, but in the midst of her pain, she made a choice that would forever alter their lives. With tears streaming down her face, Lily turned to her mother, Ava Peterson, seeking solace in her embrace. "Mom," she whispered, her voice trembling with fear, "I have stage 4 cancer, but please, promise me you won't tell Oliver. I can't bear to see him suffer like this. I want him to remember me as the woman he loves, not as a sick wife." Ava, torn between her loyalty to her daughter and her deep affection for her son-in-law, grappled with the weight of Lily's request. She understood the immense burden Lily carried, and with a heavy heart, she made a promise she knew would test her own conscience. Days turned into weeks and weeks turned into months, as Lily's secret remained carefully concealed. The weight of her diagnosis became an invisible burden, threatening to consume her from within. Despite the pain and uncertainty that gnawed at her heart, Lily was determined to shield Oliver from the emotional turmoil that would inevitably follow the revelation. As Lily underwent treatments and faced the daunting reality of her prognosis, Oliver couldn't help but notice the subtle changes in her behavior. Her once vibrant energy had dimmed, and a flicker of sadness now shadowed her eyes. Concern gnawed at his heart, but he couldn't pinpoint the cause of her distress. Unbeknownst to Oliver, the silence surrounding Lily's condition had created an invisible chasm between them. The unspoken words and unshared emotions slowly eroded the foundation of their marriage. Misunderstandings arose, and their once harmonious relationship began to crumble under the weight of unexpressed fears and insecurities. Their interactions became marked by moments of disconnect, fleeting glances filled with longing, and unspoken words hanging heavy in the air. Both Oliver and Lily yearned to bridge the widening gap between them, but their individual struggles seemed to isolate them further. Time continued to pass, and with each passing day the distance between Oliver and Lily grew. Oliver, ever the protector, felt an invisible wall forming around his wife, shutting him out from the depths of her heart. His attempts to break through that barrier often fell short, leaving him frustrated and confused. Lily, torn between her love for Oliver and her desire to shield him from pain, found herself trapped in a suffocating dilemma. She yearned to confide in him, to share the weight of her diagnosis, but fear held her back. She feared the look of devastation in his eyes, the anguish that would consume his soul. As their communication faltered, Oliver's mind spun with questions. What had he done wrong? Why was Lily pulling away? The lack of answers fueled his frustration, causing him to question the very foundation of their love. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over their shared home, Oliver mustered the courage to confront Lily. His voice trembled with a mix of fear and desperation as he asked, "Lily, what is happening between us? Please, talk to me. I can't bear this distance anymore." Lily, her heart aching with the weight of her secret, met Oliver's gaze, her eyes brimming with unshed tears. "I'm so sorry, Oliver," she whispered, her voice quivering. "There's something I've been keeping from you, something I thought would protect you from pain. But in doing so, I fear I've created a greater divide between us." Oliver's heart raced, his mind racing with possibilities. The anticipation of her words weighed heavily upon him, a mix of dread and longing intertwining within his soul. With trembling hands and a heart heavy with remorse, Lily took a deep breath, steeling herself for the inevitable truth. She looked into Oliver's eyes, seeing the confusion and pain reflected in his gaze. The time for secrecy had come to an end. It was time to lay bare the hidden truth that had plagued their relationship. "Oliver," she began, her voice laced with a mixture of sorrow and regret, "I've been keeping something from you. Something that I thought would spare you from pain, but instead, it has caused more harm than I ever imagined." Oliver's brow furrowed, his eyes searching hers for answers. "Lily, what are you talking about?" He pleaded, his voice tinged with desperation. Tears welled up in Lily's eyes as she found the strength to utter the words that had been trapped within her for far too long. "I have stage 4 cancer, Oliver," she whispered, her voice barely audible. "I didn't want you to know because I couldn't bear to see the anguish in your eyes. I wanted you to remember me as the woman you love, not as a sick wife." A profound silence enveloped them, broken only by the sound of their ragged breaths. Oliver's heart plummeted, a mixture of shock, devastation, and an overwhelming sense of guilt consuming him. He reached out, taking Lily's trembling hands in his, as if seeking solace and reassurance that this was all a terrible dream. How long have you known?" Oliver managed to choke out, his voice thick with emotion. Lily's gaze dropped to their entwined hands, her voice barely above a whisper. "It's been over a year, Oliver. I've been undergoing treatments, fighting this battle alone, believing that it was for the best." Oliver felt as though the ground beneath him had crumbled, leaving him adrift in a sea of confusion and heartache. He looked at Lily, his eyes filled with a myriad of emotions, pain, anger, and an overwhelming sense of betrayal. "Why? Why didn't you tell me, Lily?" he asked, his voice trembling with a mix of hurt and disbelief. "We were supposed to face everything together. I thought we shared everything, that our love was built on trust." Lily's tears flowed freely now, mingling with her words as she struggled to explain. "I didn't want to burden you, Oliver. I thought I could handle it on my own. I was afraid of what it would do to you, to our love. I didn't want to see you suffer, so I chose to suffer in silence." Oliver's heart shattered at her words, the weight of the years of silence crashing down upon him. The foundation of trust they had built their marriage upon felt irreparably damaged, and he couldn't help but question everything they had shared. Anguish etched across his face. Oliver withdrew his hands from Lily's grasp. "You kept this from me, Lily. You kept me in the dark, making decisions on my behalf. How can I trust you again? How can we rebuild what's been broken?" Lily's voice cracked as she reached out, her hand trembling as it reached for his. "Oliver, I know I made a mistake. I know I should have trusted you with this burden. But please, I beg of you, don't let this define our love. Let us find a way to heal, to rebuild the trust we once had." Oliver stood there, torn between the love he still held for Lily and the pain of the betrayal that had rocked their foundation. The path forward seemed uncertain, and only time would reveal whether their love could withstand the weight of the unspoken truth. 3 long and painful years had passed since Oliver and Lily's devastating divorce. The echoes of their broken love still haunted Oliver, a constant ache that reminded him of the pain he had inflicted on himself and the woman he had once cherished above all else. Fate, in its mysterious ways, intervened when Oliver crossed paths with Mason Foster, Lily's closest friend. Over a cup of coffee, Mason hesitated before revealing the truth he had sworn to protect. His voice trembled with a mix of apprehension and hope as he said, "Oliver, there's something you need to know. Lily has been fighting stage 4 cancer all this time." Oliver's heart sank, and his breath caught in his throat. The weight of those words crashed upon him like a tidal wave, washing away the assumptions and misunderstandings that had clouded his judgment. Guilt and regret flooded his being, realizing that his decision to divorce Lily had been based on a distorted reality. Tears welled up in Oliver's eyes as he grasped the magnitude of his mistake. He now understood the silent battles Lily had fought, the strength she had summoned to face her diagnosis alone. The realization of how he had failed her as a husband and a confidant weighed heavily upon him. I had no idea," Oliver stammered, his voice choked with emotion. "How could I have been so blind, so selfish? I never should have let her go." Mason's eyes softened with compassion. "Sometimes we only see the truth when it's too late. But it's never too late to make amends, Oliver. Lily deserves to know that you understand and regret what happened." Determined to make things right, Oliver set out on a mission to find Lily. He knew that seeking forgiveness would not be easy, but he couldn't bear the thought of letting their love story end in regret and missed opportunities. With a renewed sense of purpose, Oliver reached out to Eva Peterson, Lily's mother, and his former mother-in-law. He'd explained the truth he had discovered and his deep remorse for his actions. Ava, harboring her own guilt for keeping Lily's secret, understood the weight of Oliver's words and the sincerity in his eyes. "I believe in second chances, Oliver," Ava said, her voice filled with compassion. "Lily has been through so much, but she's also held on to her love for you. If you truly regret your choices, then it's time to confront the past and seek redemption." Together, Oliver and Ava embarked on a journey to find Lily, guided by the shared desire to heal the wounds that had torn their family apart. Their search took them to a small coastal town where Lily had sought solace in solitude. When they finally arrived, Oliver's heart raced with a mix of anticipation and trepidation. He stood before Lily's door, his hand trembling as he prepared to face the woman he had once vowed to love forever. As the door swung open, their eyes met for the first time in years. Lily's expression was a mix of surprise, guarded hope, and a lingering trace of pain. The years had etched lines on her face, evidence of the battles she had fought in silence. Oliver took a step forward, his voice filled with sincerity. "Lily, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I didn't understand. Please forgive me." His words carried the weight of his remorse, his longing for a second chance at love. In that fragile moment, time seemed to stand still. Lily's eyes shimmered with unshed tears as she assessed the sincerity in Oliver's gaze. The pain of the past collided with the flickering embers of their love, and a choice lay before her. Silence lingered between them, filled with unspoken words and the echoes of their shared history. Then, with a trembling voice, Lily finally spoke. "Oliver, I never stopped loving you, but the silence, the secrets, they tore us apart. I'm not sure if I can trust again." Oliver nodded, his heart pounding in his chest. "I understand, Lily. I know I have a long way to go to earn back your trust, but I promise you, with every fiber of my being, that I will be there for you. I will stand by your side, no matter what comes our way." Tears streamed down Lily's cheeks as she took a step forward, reaching out to Oliver. He met her halfway, their hands finding solace in each other's grasp. In that tender embrace, they let go of the past, embracing a future filled with hope and the possibility of rebuilding their love. The path ahead would be challenging, filled with hurdles and moments of doubt, but Oliver and Lily were ready to face them together. They had learned the power of honesty, forgiveness, and the resilience of love. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the landscape, Oliver and Lily stood united, their hearts intertwined once more. The echoes of their painful journey were replaced by the whispers of a love story reborn, forever altered but strengthened by the trials they had overcome. And so their journey continued, a testament to the enduring power of love and the redemption that can be found even in the darkest of times.